living inside my heart now. Living inside.
Well, good afternoon to you kids. It's afternoon here in Crestone, Colorado. And who be it talking to you but your old buddy Grandpa Peter Coyote, flying to you from the Rocky Mountain High here in Crestone, Colorado, planet Earth, next to this little star we call Sol, or Sun. Babies, boy, this last couple of weeks been ruggedy. I don't know about you, I do know about you, but what I'm saying is we sure been dragging ourselves through a bunch of shit in the process of getting ourselves better, getting well, getting strong inside of ourselves, and hoping we're moving on into ascendancy. Hoping ain't the right word because we can see that we are, but babies, it's been tricky. But I want you to know this up and down, the gnarly energy, especially since they started making, our government started making a move towards going to war again in a place they have no business being. But anyway, just the energy of that, has affected people greatly. And we're all being challenged once again to look into our dark side, to process stuff that we thought we were over and done with a long time ago, but inside has barely just begun catching up to us. You see, I've talked about human beings being controlled from the inside, programming I call it. And it's like an entity comes into you, holds on to you, part of you. Sometimes controls all of you, but it's also you inside of there. There is no entity. That's the illusion. But instead of getting all of that detailed stuff, let's take you where it's really happening. There's a gateway opening inside this week that will allow you to think and reason and be and do in a whole different way than you ever have before. There are those pioneers that have been pioneering this for you. And they've been going through all kinds of miserable hell and torment as well as paradisical experiences to get you there. They see the divided nature inside of themselves. They understand the methods of control that are exercised over them, at least some of them, as you're beginning to see even now. And they reach inside of themselves and they embrace all that seems to be disagreeable, all that seems to be darkness. And this helps tremendously. It doesn't stop. The old pains, the old angers, the rage. It doesn't end all that. It makes it easier to manage, yes, but it doesn't end it. But here's the way we do. Now I want you to get into a communicative state. That is, to go and close your eyes and go inside of yourself. Feel the heart's energy in the center of yourself. See with your third eye. Feel the energy in your hands, the palms, open palms of your hands. And just be in that for a few moments. Invite the angels and the ancestors and the brotherhoods of the heart and all the rest of Great Spirit to come in and help you out, and acknowledge Great Spirit inside of yourself. The one Mother, the one Father in all. The one that is all, and all is in the one that is. You. And me too. That's how it works. You go in there. And you feel this energy. You feel the life inside of yourself. You feel whatever torment and division you see, you understand inside of yourself, something's going on. There are contrary voices. You've been cross-wired, miswired inside. But it's been accepted as normal human behavior for many, many centuries without end now. Many generations have suffered in the same ways that you do. Your suffering's far greater because we're towards the end of all suffering. So you take on the larger dose now so you can do the smaller dose later. In fact, none at all. It'll be over with. We finish the task in this lifetime, all of us. And there's not a one of us, I don't care what your beliefs are, there's not a one of us that isn't making the journey because of this magical gateway that's opening inside. And it's really pretty simple. What we're doing energetically, what you would call mystically, is removing the blocks, dissolving away through love and loving all that's within, dissolving away the blocks that have held us back from ourselves. So when you feel yourself thinking inside of yourself, and perhaps in terms of words or alphabets or whatever, but you feel yourself thinking, as you're in this communicative way and experiencing the life inside of yourself, as well as beginning to realize the life around you, because this is what communication does. You begin to see what others do not see. You begin to know what others do not know. You begin to understand what others cannot understand. But because you can understand, see, know, feel it, live it, in other words, then others around you start to get it. It's called rising consciousness. So when we're in those states now, when we feel ourselves thinking and we hear the voices arguing back and forth or whatever it is they're doing inside, calculating, trying to figure out things, trying to understand, going through experience, trying to see what's in that experience for you, why you chose it that way, why it happened that way, what side of the contract in mystical terms were you serving there. I mean, you know, there are always, in every moment in life, it's a conscious act of love. When you're at the mercy of someone else's hand, someone's at the mercy of yours, and anything in between is a conscious choice to be in that experience so you know what that feels like. And perhaps you're taking on an energy from an ancestor and you're going to finish it for them. Many of us are finishing for all the ancestors because we are the ancestors and the ancestors are us, and we're all in it together. That's why there's so much movement towards opening this grand gateway inside of yourself. But when it opens, when you feel it, it'll be like it's always been that way. It'll be natural to you. There won't be the struggle, the resistance you're feeling right now in this moment. But what I'm encouraging you to do, each time you're in a communicative way, instead of letting it think here, inside of the cerebral, inside of the cranium here, let your energy flow down your cerebral cortex, down your back, and into your heart region. Now you're going to find at the back of your mind there were some blockages implanted, you know, and therefore you've been thinking with a freewheeling mind. It's like taking this computer that we're talking on and just letting it go nuts by itself. And it doesn't work too well without the operator. So you're learning now, as you retrieve your energy from the cerebral and bring it back to the heart and literally mix it in here. Just keep going round and round in there with that energy, but you'll find yourself beginning to think inside of the heart again and then expressing through the mind. So you won't have the constant stress and worry that goes on in most people's mind, or you won't have to exercise all these meditations and so forth to keep your mind calm. You won't have to take drugs anymore to keep yourself calm, because the mind will find its grounding, its centering in the heart, which is the fullness of consciousness inside of yourself, from which all human beings, and most of the beings around us too, as we perceive them, have been isolated from and have gone to thinking here rather than here with the heart. And that's why you have activity and movement towards warfare. But the more we can go into this opening gateway and allow ourselves to begin polling our conscious thought, or recognizing that it is within the heart, what we're literally doing is taking the function of thinking from the mind and allowing it to be thought of already in the universal heart inside of ourselves, which is Great Spirit, which is the great love, the great Mother, the great Father, within all. It's a different way of being, kids. And like you, I've been prevented from it. All humans have until these times here. With a few minor exceptions, but even they didn't get there in fullness. Because the time wasn't in fullness. We could only think so far. We were always blocked about right here at this verbal level. That's where it ended. Not anymore. For all of the peace and placidity, for all of the major miracles people have been able to create by connecting the mind and the heart, it's only been momentary. What we're moving into now is the fullness of it. We finally get to be who we are. We finally get to relax and enjoy ourselves here, because when we move into thinking with the heart, we have grounded ourselves in the heart, and therefore we're in the universal flow and we'll be in complete harmony with everything that is. We'll be thinking in harmony, and we'll be acting in harmony. We'll be conscious of our harmony. So just keep bringing that consciousness into your heart realm. Just keep bringing it there. When your thinking is here, when the words and voices are going on here, and trying to figure it out, just keep bringing them down. Bring them down, 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 into the heart region, and feel them and flow them in, and let them blend with what's there. And pretty soon, the thoughts are coming from there, and your words and actions are guided from there. Then you begin to operate on what I'd call automatic pilot. Many of us experience moments of this. In fact, a lot of us do it almost full time. We slip off the wagon every now and then because we're still trying to figure out what we're doing here and understanding different levels of life as we go along. But this is the gateway, the doorway you've been waiting for all of your lives, every one of them, but especially this one. You were born knowing something special was going to happen in this life, and you were determined to live to see it. Well, most of us have, and those that didn't are going to come back to life with it anyway. Because pretty soon we're going to end the presumption that death is the natural circumstance for being alive. And in the process, end all war. But for the moment, let's just keep going here. Because this will take care of any warrior-like energies you find kicking around this week. It's going to get you back in the right place, back in the right experience. God, guys, I love you. Come home to the heart. Let your thinking come in there. And let's be wise together forever and ever and ever. Change the way we live. Understand and care and be speaking and acting from evermore from the heart, which returns us to our creative sources. Oh my. You ain't seen nothing yet, kids. It's getting better and better and better. The phenomenal things that we are capable of begin in a tiny little exercise like that, where you just bring your thinking into the heart realm. You don't let it stay in the mind. You don't let it stick there. It's not used to it. And there may be a little resistance. There may not be as you see this video, experience this moment. It depends on how far those that are working on it have gotten, but it's almost there if it isn't there right now. So just keep going there. If it doesn't happen the first time, you'll feel it just the same. Keep going back there, bringing those thoughts into the heart realm. Bringing those thoughts into the heart realm. And pretty soon, you're thinking the thoughts of a conscious, totally centered, loving human being. And there can't be a better way of being. Yet, we're in equity with all that is. So as we bring our consciousness to these places that are sacred and special, a union occurs with all life that surrounds us. And consciousness is raised as a result in all beings that live. Another level, another way. We're all ready to experience it. We've had tremendous help here on Earth, in this environment we call Earth. Remember, I keep calling it a dream. But now, We're pulling in reality by allowing our thinking to go back into the heart's realm.
She's living inside my heart now.